Boom! That level hit me high. How we do? How's our levels? How's our peaks? What up, everybody? What up? What up? What up? What up? It is the Bible Big Mouth. Fantastic show. Unapologetic Rob. Fantastic show. A lot of information there that needs to be dug up and eaten and dug through and taken a look at and whatever. I guess there is a part two to happen. Everybody in the Mirage Network on chat. Flame up a 7. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know. We good, guys? Yeah? All right. Okay, so, hey, this is the first show, first time we've put this thing together, the Mirage Network, so that we can jump into different points, views, considerations from everybody across the world. Yeah, we may not disagree. We may not agree. We may disagree, but it doesn't matter. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about it. We're going to put it on the table and see what's up. And we're going to take some information with us and chew on it and see what we do with it. I need my water. My water's over there somewhere. All right, thank you. Take a sip. Live chat, thank you. Everybody that's liked, subscribed, shared, and commented, thank you. So, topic of today. Title is, do we have the right to circumcise a child? Do we have the right to circumcise a child? We have an interesting guest, who has some heavy opinions. I took a peek at the chat and I saw that it looked like there was a couple trolls coming through. It looked like there were a couple trolls coming through. I'm not sure if they're still there. But hey, we don't mind the trolls. We talk, man. We put it down on the table. We talk. It's okay. It's okay. If you're in your feelings, it's okay. Sometimes I may be in my feelings. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. State what you need to state. Your opinion is whatever it is, right? So let's go right to the show, the topic at hand. Daniel, are you there?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, Daniel. Thanks for joining in, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you for having me, brother.
Hey, not a problem. I know we went back and forth a bit to check Daniel's level. He's good. Is Daniel's level? I need him to be clear. I need his volume clear. I want people to hear Daniel today. He's good?
Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I'm getting thumbs from all the paid hands here. We pay hands here. They don't do the job. We fire hands here. All right. So thumbs up. All right, fellas. Daniel, welcome to the Bible Big Mouth show, man. I got you on my first show, and it's
glad to be. It's number one. Here we go.
Yeah. It's interesting how this thing came together, because I saw on my Instagram. Let me do a shameless plug. Bible Big Mouth. I saw a picture of you. It looked like. I didn't know at the time. Yeah. It was a dude holding a sign that said, I want my foreskin back. I was like, what? He wants, I want my foreskin back. So I copied it and I put it up, and I put my comment there and I said, that's interesting. And you had the picture, you're in the whites, and you had some blood stains and stuff on it, or what was a mock of a blood stain. And I put it up, and then you said, hey, I'm that guy in the picture.
So that's the guy with the I want my foreskin back sign. That's my buddy Luke Artanis.
Okay.
I'm the one who's holding the sign, this Jew hates being cut.
That's it. This Jew hates being cut. That's it.
One picture, though.
That's it. Well, let's jump into it. We got just under an hour, and let's see where we go. So.
Yeah, it was perfect. I actually, somebody shared it to my inbox on Facebook,
Okay.
And then I immediately commented. So it's cool that we got connected that way.
Yeah. It was fantastic. I'm glad that you shouted out, man. Brave. Let me tell you, that's brave. Some brave stuff. I see you guys marching around with that. Some brave stuff. So, let's get into you first. Then we'll jump into Bloodstained Men. So,
Sure.
Daniel, how old are you?
I am 29 years old.
29, okay. You're 29 years of age, and according to, we haven't spoken yet. I know you spoke to our scheduler. We haven't spoken. I like to keep it fresh, so I want to get these questions fresh on air with everybody listening. So, you're 29. Are you circumcised?
I am circumcised. Yep. I was circumcised in a Jewish hospital in Massachusetts, and I wish I hadn't been.
How many years ago were you circumcised?
I was circumcised right after birth, the day I was born.
So you were born today, and tomorrow you were circumcised.
So I was born February 7th, 1991, and I was circumcised that same day. As soon as I came out of my mother's womb, they took me to have part of my penis cut off. So.
Boom. So right out of the action. Okay. So who made that decision for you to be circumcised? You like the way I framed that?
Complicated question, but the Jewish side of my family has been circumcising for centuries. And of course, I was born at a Jewish hospital, so I think it was just assumed that I would be circumcised. So I guess you could say my parents. At the same time, there's a lot of doctors that are pushing this. And of course, society in the United States, a lot of people think that you need to do this. And there's not as much
slow down. We're gonna get there. I wanna rub the seasoning into this so everybody can move at the same speed, because I know where you're at. Gotcha. I want to bring everybody.
Yeah, you're not the only big mouth here.
Daniel, the big mouth. Look at that. So
yes.
Okay, so parents, mom and dad, made decision for you to be circumcised.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. As a child growing up, I'm trying to get my Dr. Phil on here. As a child growing up, did you feel the effects of this circumcision? Were you conscious of this circumcision?
Not at all.
Zero zilch.
Yeah. Okay. None at all. I had no idea what had happened to me or that anything had happened to me.
Okay. About what age did you get to? And then you got this consciousness of, hey, I'm circumcised.
So I think by the time I hit my teenage years, I finally became aware. I mean, I guess talking to friends and realizing that I was circumcised, but I did not think it had caused me any issues, and I didn't realize that until I was about 18, 20 years old, sometime in there. 18,
20 years old. Okay, so we got a 20-year timeline here. You kind of figured out that you were circumcised, and then you said some issues, and I guess we'll jump over there in a moment. It gives me my question. Well, I'm going to state my experience. I remember I played a lot of sports. A lot of sports with locker rooms and so on and so forth, and showers from a child all the way up through school, etc. And I didn't know what it was, but I noticed there was a difference. My kids are listening right now, and I know there might be some nieces and nephews listening that are younger, so I'm keeping it tidy. But I did notice a difference, but I didn't know what it is. And I probably came around a little bit younger than you, and then I kind of figured out, okay, this is what that is. So you figured out there was some issues. You became conscious. What happened?
So when I was about 18 years old, I started to notice that I wasn't able to maintain an erection as well as I could. I guess when I had first hit puberty, And also, I noticed some pain when masturbating and having sex. And for a long time, at that point, it was a big chunk of my life, but like a year, 2 years, I had been searching for a reason for why I was having these issues. And I would go to doctors, therapists, urologists, and ask them, why am I having these issues? And they told me they had no idea. And they told me that these issues were mental health issues or something like that. The reason why
mental health issues.
I knew that wasn't the case. I just didn't connect the dots. So finally, years later, a couple years later, I discovered the blood-stained men protesting. Brother K, specifically, I saw him protesting, and the second I saw that, it connected the dots, and I knew this was the problem.
Okay, so the issues you said, what were you feeling? Pain? Was it pain?
So, yep, pain along with some erectile dysfunction issues. That,
okay.
Yeah, I've been able to overcome by exercise and meditation and such.
Okay.
But that's not a normal thing for an 18-year-old to have to go through.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody that did, and yeah, I think that would be something to be concerned of. So you bumped into the.
Yeah. I think if circumcised men did, they don't want to discuss this. This isn't something they would talk to the public about.
I would agree and disagree. I'll tell you where I agree. I agree that at age 18, you're not going to go over to your buddies and say, "I got some issues down in the Bronski," right? I got some issues. You're not going to talk about that really. But I think, I'm no longer 18. I'm way past 18. I won't say my age, but I'm way past 18. And we got peers, we got friends. I got friends that I've had for 20 years, 30 years, and these issues haven't come up. Not to say that they don't exist, but I agree with you. At age 18, there's no way that I'm walking into the school cafeteria and telling everybody that I got some sort of issue. Down in that section.
I think most men don't want to. If they did have issues in that area, they would never want to admit that, which is why this doesn't come up very much.
Got you. I got you. So, blood-stained men and their friends. You bumped into them. What happened next?
So I found them online, and I added a few of them on Facebook, and then I started going hard with intactivism and speaking out against this because I connected the dots and, started, talking about it wherever I could. And, I feel like my purpose in life is to, make people realize that this shouldn't be done to children. Learn from my experience or my parents' experience. Doing this to me. So
let me do some housework here. Hey, you want to talk to Daniel? You got some questions for Daniel? Call in. The number is over here somewhere, or over here, one of those places. Call in. We'll get you on. And the meeting number, when you get in the meeting ID, just punch in 149-990-3324. That's 149-990-3324. If you do call in and you're watching on YouTube, turn it off, because then it's going to create feedback and it's going to interrupt the show. I do see somebody waiting patiently. Look like they've been waiting for a while, so let's see what's up there. Area code 206. Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. What's up? Talk to us.
Hi, this is John Atkinson. I know Daniel Tati, or Tati. Did I say that right, Dan?
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, it's a family affair. What's up, John? What's up?
Well, I made a comment in the YouTube. I'm a cut dad, circumcised dad of 2 teenage boys that are intact.
Sorry, say that one more time.
And I am a cut father of 2 intact teen sons, or uncircumcised, if you have to use that word.
Okay, intact. So intact means uncircumcised.
Yeah.
You're not talking.
You have to use that word. I don't.
You're not talking.
I do not like that.
You're not saying that you reattached. Are you saying you're reattached, or are you saying you never cut?
I am cut.
You're cut. Your sons are not cut. Got you. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been studying the issue ever since my firstborn was first son was born.
Well, you know what? Before you jump into your son, sorry, I'm horrible with names. Daniel, I know forever. That's Daniel, I know you. Was it John?
Yes, John.
John. Okay, John. Before you get to your sons, what type of an experience did you have? You were circumcised, I guess, from birth?
I was.
Okay.
Yep. I was born in a naval hospital.
A naval, okay. Military hospital, okay.
Yep.
And your story, is there a similar story or some sort of story like our friend Daniel? Daniel had some issues growing up at a certain age and he figured it out. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't have erectile dysfunction, but I figured out that I've actually had several problems.
Several? Sure.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yes. So one of the first problems I had was when I was a little boy, I got meatal stenosis.
You got to slow it down for me. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even spell that. So slow it down for me. Slow it down.
Yes. So I was diagnosed with meatal stenosis.
Right.
Which is a narrowing of the meatus, which is where your pee comes out.
Okay.
So what I had was it was kind of like a skin bridge, and I ended up peeing all over the place whenever I go use the restroom.
Okay.
And my grandmother took me to the hospital, and the doctor had to do a little cut to get me fixed.
Okay. All right. Now you had to get some sort of operation. What does that have to do with circumcision?
So meatal stenosis primarily occurs in boys that were circumcised, that are missing their prepuce.
Okay. And you're educating me and all the viewers. How often or how frequent does that happen? Is there a lot of people happening? Is it not a lot? What are we talking? What's the numbers like?
I'm pretty sure that's over 10%.
10% of what?
So that's something I've suffered with as well.
You suffer with that as well. Okay. 10% of what? 10% of everybody circumcised, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And was that it?
Nope. So when I started being sexual, had many problems. One was when my erection would occur, my scrotum would draw up and squeeze my testes.
Okay.
And it would be almost like getting kicked in the nuts. So I'd have to stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a so I've never heard of this before. Is that an issue from circumcision?
Yes, because you're supposed to have the prepuce or your foreskin to unfold down your penis when you get an erection.
Got you. 416, hold on. We're going to get you in a moment. So, okay. Yeah, both of you, stories seem to be similar, and I guess that you are part of Bloodstained Men as well?
I have protested with Bloodstained Men, and I was actually lucky enough to be handed one of Brother K's pants, because he and I wear the same size.
Brother K. Who is Brother K again?
Yeah. So Brother K is the founder.
He's a legend.
Go ahead, Dan.
He's a legend. All right, tell us about Brother K.
Back in the 70s.
So he was commissioned to this fight from the 70s, is what you're saying?
He started protesting in the 70s, yes.
Okay. We haven't talked about Bloodstained Men. Kind of give us a breakdown as to what Bloodstained Men, what you stand for, what you do, how old, how long, et cetera, et cetera. As soon as we're done that, we're going to get 416 right into this call here.
So the Bloodstained Men are committed to exposing Americans to the brutality that is the human rights violation of infant circumcision. We believe all children deserve to be protected from genital mutilation. So I am not exactly sure how long the organization has been around. I believe it's something of like 10 years or so. But it's a very powerful movement. The Bloodstained Men and their friends travel all across the United States and do protests year-round to try to expose the public. And we wear our signature blood-stained pants.
I've seen those. Okay. Thank you. 416, come on in. Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. What's up?
Hi there.
Hi there.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, I just want to say,
first of all, what's your name?
Show. I like it.
What's your name?
My name is Daniela.
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 Okay.
Yes. I just wanted to throw in a comment here. So, out of the men that I have dated in my life, I had only one boyfriend ever that was uncircumcised.
Okay.
And I just have to tell you from my personal experience that I've always preferred men who are circumcised for various reasons, which I don't want to get into because I know your nieces and nephews.
Yes. Let's keep it. Keep it tidy.
Yes, keep it tidy. I mean, and I just want to say that none of these circumcised men that I dated had any sort of erectile or other functional issues that I knew of, like, at all.
Okay.
And it's not to, I don't want to diminish Daniel's experience at all. I think there's definitely, I imagine that things could happen. I mean, especially if you do it right after birth. I mean, I've never heard of that happening, but I just wanted to throw it out there from a female perspective. That's all. That's my comment.
Okay. Daniel, what do you say to that?
So we claim that circumcised is better in North America only because the majority of men here are circumcised. So that's what people are used to, and then you come across a man who's not circumcised. It's different than what you're used to. At the same time, genitals aren't the cleanest, most beautiful things in the world, and they can get infections if you don't keep them clean. We have an entire feminine hygiene aisle. Whether I think that's useful at all or not, we have an entire feminine hygiene aisle, but we're cutting off parts of baby boys for cosmetic reasons. So, I don't think it's acceptable to say that you prefer having a generally mutilated man. I just don't think that's okay because it leads to harming children and damaging the adult men that they become.
Sorry, you said your name was Danielle? Danielle, you still there? Oh, looks like she's gone. Okay. Thank you for calling, Danielle.
So in Europe and South America, they don't circumcise for the most part. It's about 97% not circumcised in those continents. And European men and South American men are some of the most passionate, sought-after men on planet Earth. People claim, I circumcised my son so he'll get blowjobs. Sexualizing your son is not okay in the first place, but I doubt that South American and European men have any issues getting blowjobs or having sex. And I also want to bring up the point, at this point in my life, I don't suffer from erectile dysfunction. But when I do have sex, I cannot feel anything. So maybe I can get an erection, but I don't feel anything. And men who can feel stuff, who feel pleasure while having sex that are circumcised, they are feeling way less pleasure than they would if they had their whole penis.
Okay. 314. Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. Who am I speaking to?
How you doing? This is Anthony.
Anthony, welcome. You sounded, you called in and looks like you have a response to something that Daniel had said. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part that he was saying, but I did have a few questions.
Go ahead. You got it. You got the floor.
Okay, my first question is, was circumcision ever explained to you guys? I mean, that's even by your parents, or is this something that's a general practice, so they just went with it? And when you say you're protesting parents against circumcision, is that specific towards anyone or just in general?
So my parents never really discussed it with me. It was just something that you did, you know, in Jewish religion and also in the Northeast United States. Like, they didn't really talk about it. I was not exposed to it. So it's like this weird thing. I had part of my genitals cut off, and nobody told me. And I just had to learn later in life that, you know, this happened to me. And, of course, I did not consent to this. To answer your second question, we are not protesting parents. We are essentially protesting the medical establishment in the United States that is pushing this.
Okay.
And we just want parents to realize that this is an issue. So we go out and try to expose parents and teach them the reality of what this is, not what they're told from the media and from the medical establishment. We go out and tell them that it is harmful, and in hopes that they'll protect their children. And we've been pretty successful. I mean, rates are dropping, and, you know, nothing makes me happier than, you know, being a circumcised man going on the street and speaking about this very important issue and protecting other children from suffering the same fate.
Okay, but ultimately it's the parents the ones who make the. So you're saying that the doctors are the ones that go in and make the decision to circumcise?
Well, I think they convince parents to do this. They treat it as like a sale. So if you go to most American hospitals, a lot of times they'll treat it like a sale. They'll be like, so are you going to get your child circumcised now? I actually had a buddy of mine who chose not to circumcise his son, and he wrote on the board, "Do not circumcise." And the doctors came back like 9 or 10 times. I know they like to ask the mother, you know, when the mother is on drugs. So, you know, it's a very pushy, salesy type situation. But at the end of the day, the only person who should be able to make the choice whether to alter someone's genitals or not is the person who owns the body. It should not be a parent's choice, just like it shouldn't be a parent's choice to cut off part of their daughter's genitals or foot bind their children. It should be up to the person who owns the body. And if somebody wants to have part of their genitals mutilated as an adult, that should be their choice.
Mutilated.
As an adult.
Mutilated. Golly.
So,
mutilated.
So
That's like capital punishment.
So it's very rare that it's a medical concern. In Finland, they do not circumcise, and about 0.0006% of adult men end up getting circumcised for medical reasons. So there are no medical benefits to circumcising a baby whatsoever.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. I just wanted to call and get you guys' opinion. I definitely appreciate the candidness that you guys are definitely sharing today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you for answering those questions there, Daniel. We have 905. 905, welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. Come on in. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, you're speaking to Sharma.
Sharma. How are you, Sharma?
I am fine, thank you.
You have a question for our friend Daniel?
No, I don't have a question. I just want to make a comment.
Go ahead.
So I've been listening to the show. Someone sent me the link, and I appreciate it. It's a great topic.
Sharma, let me pause you for a moment. I'm getting all sorts of text. Where's unapologetic? I'm getting all sorts of text here, people or comments and everything. Call in. If I can't see the live chat, I'm not even going to look at the live chat. I don't want to look at the live chat. Live chat don't mean nothing here. This is a call-in show. Call in. You got something to say? Call in. We got Daniel the man right. He's right here. It's as if he's right here. Call in. You got that number. 149. Let me move over so you can see it. All right. Good.
I could say the number for you because someone sent it to me.
All right.
149-990-3326. That's if you're calling from Canada. That's the ID number.
Right.
The number to call.
It's on the screen behind you.
It's on the screen. Thank you.
494-4053.
Thank you. Sharma, go ahead with your comment.
I'm calling because I like the show. Now, I'm not sure if you're talking about this from a Bible perspective.
We're talking from any perspective. We have Daniel here.
Perfect.
Daniel's just giving
Perfect.
his expression.
I believe in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. I love the big G God in that Bible, and I try my best to follow his instructions. Now, I have three sons, actually more than three, but let's start with the three. After I had my third son, I started reading the Bible, and I noticed in Genesis 17, it is written, the first covenant that the Almighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob gives to Abraham. And he said to walk before him and be perfect, and this is what you need to do for him to be a God unto you. It is in Genesis 17.
We're going to church here. We're going to church.
Yes, I read the entire chapter, and I made a decision for my children because it said you must be circumcised.
Okay.
And I have trust in my God that he would not tell me to do something to my boys and have any medical problems with it after. So I've been listening to the previous speaker. I think I'm not disrespecting him, but I think the problem is not with the circumcision, because before I get on the phone, I asked my 3 adult sons if there's been any functioning problems, and the answer was no. So I am for circumcision. When I circumcised my first boy, he was 11, the second one was 9, and the third one was 7. And I feel good about it as following the instruction. The first covenant given to Abraham, it's written clearly in Genesis 17. So I just would like to ask everyone who's listening to the show that they can read that scripture, and then it's up to them if they believe in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation and to follow and obey. That's the part I want to take. I've taken, and that's the part I give to my children. They don't have a say in this because actually Abraham was 99 years when he was told to be circumcised. And that's
so the New Testament actually says not to circumcise.
The New Testament, which scripture would that be? And I could tell you right now, it wouldn't be the New Testament in the King James Version English Translated Bible. Never. Without me even seeing it, I could tell you it wouldn't be, because God is not a God of confusion. So he's not going to say one thing in Genesis 17 and then in the New Testament say not to circumcise. I know
God doesn't make mistakes. We were born with fortune for a reason.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If God make mistakes, we wouldn't have been born with body parts.
Okay, sorry. I know there's a scripture that says to circumcise the heart. That's for all people, men and women. But it is said to circumcise the skin for the males, and you can read Genesis 17, and it said forever, throughout all your generations, forever. So if I don't know what forever is, then I wouldn't be doing this. But forever means...
Sharma, I'm going to leave you at that point. I'll let Daniel respond to that. We're getting a bit of a queue here. I want to thank you very much for your call. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed and liked and commented, go ahead and do so. Go ahead, Daniel. Respond how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. There are multiple parts of the Bible that say not to circumcise, the New Testament. I'm looking at Galatians 5:6. Paul taught that Jesus accepts people as they are and does not ask them to become circumcised, to become Christian. So, again, as I was telling her, my feeling is that God does not make mistakes. And if we were not meant to have this body part, we would not be born with it. Now, I'm also, somebody in the comments is saying Jesus was circumcised. So Jesus was also crucified, and I don't think you do that to your kids.
Hey, I'll tell you, hold on a second, Daniel. We are not going to look at the live chats. I don't want anybody typing from the back. If they want to talk, call in. This is a live call. This is the Bible Big Mouth live call-in show. Call in. We're not looking at those chats. All right, go ahead.
Gotcha. So I also want to point out that in Christianity, Jesus was the last blood sacrifice. So you do not need to sacrifice your child's foreskin to impress a God. This is, no different than Muslims saying that their God tells them to circumcise their daughters. You know, again, if this is something that an adult wants to do for religious reasons, that should be their choice, but it should never be forced onto an infant. And, I think a lot of Abrahamic religion, Judaism included, my own religion, is very against, like, sex out of marriage and sexual pleasure and all these things. And when you cut off part of a child's genitals, that is altering that child's genitals. So I do not believe for a second that God is saying that we need to cut off this body part that he gave us for a reason.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a few calls pooling up. I just want to say, I think some of those things we can get back to in a moment. We got about 20 minutes left on the show. What I did want to say, where you said God is perfect. Yeah, he is perfect. And you said that, hey, if he made the body part to be there, then he made it because it's perfect in its perfection. That would be for you and I to sit and to ponder, hey, perhaps he did make the foreskin to be circumcised, possibly. But let's not debate that. Let me go into another call. Let's jump into area code 210. Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. What's up?
Hi, this is Luke Artana.
Luke. Where are you calling from, Luke?
I'm calling from Denver, Colorado.
Denver. Okay, so you've got to be a mate of our friend Daniel here, correct?
I am. I'm a friend of Daniel.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
So the Old Covenant is the penis-cutting sacrifice ritual of circumcision, and the New Covenant is with Jesus. So if you stick to the Old Covenant, you're rejecting the crucifixion and rejecting the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not.
You're not. What are you?
I don't really have a label.
Okay, so do you believe in the Bible?
The parts of it that are true, yeah.
Okay, so there's parts of the Bible you don't believe in?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of difficult to we could talk Bible because I mean, like, I am the Bible Big Mouth. We could discuss it, but it's kind of difficult if you're not a believer, because if I grab a scripture and toss it at you, and you don't believe it.
Well, what I believe doesn't matter. You can look throughout Christian history.
It would matter. It would matter. It would matter.
The Pope has issued a papal bull condemning circumcision.
That is the Pope. That is the Pope. We're talking Bible.
I know.
We're talking Bible. You said Bible, so that's why.
I'm just saying there's a long tradition within Christianity.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah. If you have a baby boy and he's healthy, and that's a cause for gratitude and celebration.
Okay.
You don't need to cut off part of his penis as a blood sacrifice in order to go to heaven or to make God happy. All you have to do is have faith.
Okay. Was there anything else you had to say?
And you are actually risking the baby's life by
no, that's it.
Thank you for the call, and I'm gonna kind of put it back over to Daniel. Daniel, I'm kind of rushing it through because I'm seeing a pool of calls here. Are you a believer in the Bible, Daniel?
Am I a believer in the Bible?
Yeah.
Well, I don't take it as fact. I think there are metaphors in the Bible.
So are you a believer in the Bible?
I would say no. But again, I'm Jewish. I'm not a Christian.
Okay. Are you a believer in the Torah?
Yeah, again, the same thing. I think there are metaphors in it.
So when you say there are metaphors, you're saying don't take it literal?
Exactly.
You're a believer in the Torah, but you were quoting some New Testament scriptures.
Yep. Yeah, I've done a lot of research on this topic, and I know that the New Testament says not to circumcise.
Okay. All right. Let's continue on. Let's go over to 646. 647. Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. Who am I speaking to?
This is Harriet.
Harriet.
Yes.
You have a question or statement for our friend Daniel?
I believe both question and statement, but this is to go to Daniel. If you said you don't believe in the Bible, so if you don't believe in the Bible, the Torah, any of them, you can't quote from them, right? And biblically it says that you have to circumcise your boy child on the 8th day. Now, it's not the penis that is being circumcised, but it's the foreskin that is being circumcised. So your friend from before, I can't remember his name, but it seems like he was circumcised on the first day, and it's on the 8th day. If you're going to follow, I'm going to say the Israelite culture, which is biblical, which a lot of people trying to emulate and cannot get it right, you got to understand it before you do it. So first of all, you have to maybe talk to your parents and ask what happened at the time you guys were circumcised, and maybe to the doctors, because it seems like medically something went wrong there. Reason why I'm saying that,
something goes wrong every time.
Say that again?
Something goes wrong every single time. Anytime you take a knife to a healthy baby's genitals, something goes wrong. That's just the way it goes.
It depends on who you're with, though. My son is circumcised, and nothing is wrong with him. My husband is circumcised, and they were all fine. So
he's not old enough to realize his problems, or he wouldn't tell you.
In my life, that is circumcised, and they're perfect when it can't anything.
So what if I want to circumcise my daughter for religious reasons? Like
that's
a lot
a
of
different story. Okay, for me,
no,
my culture,
it's the
we don't
same
circumcise
thing.
daughter. My culture do not circumcise daughter. That's a different topic. That's another topic to me that I can answer for you because I don't know nothing about that. That's a different culture.
Well, it's no different whatsoever. It is no different whatsoever, and by cutting off part of a child's genitals,
a boy is different from a girl.
So let's okay, guys, let's not speak over each other. Let's not speak over each other. We want everybody to hear this. I hear some passion from, I believe it's Harriet. I hear some passion. Daniel's been calm and with us and is laying down his points. I just want to, just let's lay out what we got to say and then keep it moving. We don't want to turn this into Clash of the Titans here. Yeah, let's go ahead. We got a couple more calls we got to go through as well. So
sure.
Let
me just respond to her real quick.
Yeah.
Freedom of religion, carving your religion into your children's genitals essentially removes that child's religious freedom. As well, as long as male genital mutilation is legal in the United States, female genital mutilation will be as well. There was a case in Michigan where a Muslim doctor, got arrested for circumcising girls, and the case was dropped because it was ruled unconstitutional to make it illegal to do to one gender but not the other. So they are no different, and
sorry about that. Are you there? Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. My apologies, Daniel. Are you still there?
Hello?
My apologies, Daniel. That was all me. That was all me. Sorry.
That's all good, brother. How much of that did you get?
We got a lot of it. I mean, it was just the last part that I muted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the main point is it was ruled unconstitutional to mutilate the genitals of, make it illegal to mutilate the genitals of one gender but not the other. So it's legal to mutilate girls in the United States now because we didn't go hard against, doing it to boys. So, my feeling, all children need to be protected. And, don't take away somebody's religious freedom or carve your religion into somebody else's body. That's my feeling.
So in terms of, before we get to the next caller, can you hear me, Daniel? I don't think Daniel could hear me. Can anybody hear me?
All children need to be protected and
No, I don't think they could hear me.
Or carve your religion into somebody else's body. That's my feeling.
So in terms of, before we get to the next
I don't think anybody could hear me.
can you hear me, Daniel?
I
don't think Daniel can hear me.
He could hear me on YouTube. YouTube could hear me.
Hello?
But we have an issue here with yeah. So what you have to do over there?
So in terms of, before we get to the next. I don't think anybody can hear me. Can you hear me, Donna?
Give me one moment, folks. We have a little bit of an issue here. Daniel, give me a moment. Fade to black there for a moment there. FTB.
Yeah. So what do you have to do over there?
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Am I faded to black?
Can you hear me, Donna? Give me one moment, folks. We have a little bit of an issue here. Daniel, give me a moment. Fade to black.
There we go. Problem solved. Daniel, we back?
Yes, I'm here.
Are we good? We're going to give you back some time. I took some time from you. I'm going to give you back some time. Okay. All right. Where we left off. Where are you? What's happening? I think I was saying.
I honestly don't know where I got cut off.
No problem.
But,
okay, let's go straight to a caller. Seven.
Okay.
Let's go 786. Let's go ahead. 786. 786.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show. I guess you have a comment for us. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Stephanie. I'm calling from Florida.
Stephanie from Florida. Welcome to the BBM show. Go ahead with your comment, question, statement.
Thank you for welcoming me. They're talking about circumcision and how they've been affected, but people also, males specifically, not being circumcised are also affected. Because of the foreskin always being hovered over the genital, they are more prone to infections like Candida, which requires more maintenance of their penis because of the fact that that extra skin is there. So it requires more maintenance for them. Too much sweating, more showers. So it's better to be circumcised for health issues as well. I know that they got issues, but I feel like that was probably the physician and what was done to them individually, because I haven't heard of people, males, that are circumcised having any issues. So Candida yeast is something that males get when they are uncircumcised. Balanitis is a rash that they also get when they don't maintain that the genital areas freshened and cleaned and everything that they need to do. And phimosis becomes a thing where the foreskin tightens up, where when they have an erection, it's painful because the penis can't come out, or it will just strangle in the middle of the shaft of the penis because of the tightening of the skin could be caused from an unhealthy diet. like diabetes. So then they are forced to get circumcised because it wasn't done prior.
Daniel?
So there is no other body part that we're removing from children for preventative reasons. There is something called forced retraction, where if you decide not to have your child circumcised, the doctor will either do it himself or herself, or tell you to pull back the child's foreskin to clean underneath. This is wrong. This actually creates an open wound. It's like removing your fingernail. It creates an open wound, which leads to infection and causes problems. The child's foreskin will separate naturally by the time he hits puberty, and at that point, it's literally as easy as pulling back his foreskin and letting water run over the head of his penis in the shower. It's that simple. Now, there are many body parts that could get infections later in life, but we don't remove our ears because we could get ear infections. As well, the same arguments that you're using are used in countries where baby girls are circumcised, and women are more likely to get yeast infections, UTIs, all these things that we claim circumcision helps with. So we literally need to teach hygiene and not mutilation, and we also need to not retract our children's foreskin, because that's where the problem lies. It's funny how North American men are the only ones who have problems with their penises, and European men do not have these issues. Again, we need to teach education, not cutting. Now, there are also...
Daniel, a question for you, Daniel. Okay,
Yes.
So thank you, Stephanie, for the call. We have to keep it moving as we're closing.
Can I say one more thing, brother?
Of course. Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There are circumcised men who do not have enough skin left because they had too much skin removed when they were circumcised, and they had painful erections.
I could see that.
It's honestly fairly common. So
I could see that.
We shouldn't. Yeah.
I could see that. That would.
Yeah.
I mean, in my own. I'm not a doctor or anything. That seems to be a botched surgery. If you've cut in too much to where it's not functioning at all, then it seems to be that's got to be botched, right? So.
Definitely, but granted, I think they're all botched. I mean, removing a healthy, important body part.
I hear you.
I think it's all a problem. Yeah,
I hear you. Here's a question for you. So I want to jump back biblically real quick here. So you had mentioned that New Testament there are scriptures that say not to circumcise. So okay, so we'll leave that there. That's debatable. That's a discussion we can go into, but we'll leave it there. What I want to do is, if it says not to be circumcised in the New Testament, in the Old, was there a time where circumcision did happen?
Yeah. So circumcision was originally done to Jewish slaves in Egypt, and then Jews started doing it to their own children. And
so let me pause you. Let me pause you there real quick. So, because I want to go with my train here. So, circumcision was done, and it sounds like where you're going now is it's something that was adopted from an Egyptian culture. Egyptians don't do circumcision, according to my studies, but I think
it was done to their slaves. That's what it was. It was punishment.
Cool. Let's say that they did do that. Was there an instruction given to Abraham for him to circumcise his children?
Well, Abraham was also instructed to kill his own son.
No, we'll go there. We can go there. For this first question.
If somebody in modern day times, if we didn't circumcise our kids, if somebody said, God told me that I need to chop off part of my penis and kill my son, we would all think they were insane.
So Daniel, we're hopping. We're hopping here. I don't want to hop. There's a specific point I'm trying to get to. Abraham, let me jump back. You clearly said, as per scripture, it says, according to your understanding, there's an instruction where it says, stop doing circumcisions. Stop doing it.
The New Testament says it's not required.
Okay, good. So the reason why the New Testament is saying it's not required is because it was being done? It was being done?
You mean at what point in time?
Prior to that instruction, somebody didn't just walk out of the closet and say, "Hey guys, don't circumcise," and everybody's like, "What's circumcised?"
Yes, and there is. It's also from looking at some of these quotes. It's saying that Moses said to do this. So it wasn't even it's somebody Christian that said to do this. It was somebody Jewish that originally said to do this.
So my point, I guess, because we're not getting there. We got a couple of minutes and great discussion.
There are a couple more things I want to bring up as well before.
Absolutely. What I'm trying to say is there was clearly an instruction for circumcision. You mentioned Jewish, so we'll stick there. The sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? The 12 tribes, there was within their law an instruction, and their law is all based upon, I think you said, somebody in the live chat said something about Moses. The law was given from Moses, and as per the story, that story says that the law was given from God. So that means that the circumcision was happening, and there's a point where you believe, we won't debate that today, where it says stop. We'll just use that. It says stop doing it. So it was being done. If it was being done... It says
it's not necessarily. But again, I have no problem with religious circumcision if the person who owns the body is making the choice to do that for religious reasons. Religious freedom means not carving your religion into your children's genitals, essentially taking away their religious freedom. Now, also, in European countries, specifically Italy, the Catholic Church does not circumcise, and in fact advised against it. So in Christianity, it's not it's not really a thing that you're supposed to do to your children. And the New Testament has.
What about the Old Testament? What about the Old Testament?
So I can't speak on the Old Testament, but I know, again, the times were different.
Okay, so
there were a lot of things.
You know where I'm going with this, Daniel? Where I'm going is that there was circumcision done. And according to the story, if we're going to use the Bible, if we're going to use the New Testament, it's a writing based upon instructions from God. So the Old Testament would be the same as it's the same book. So if the New is saying it's not required as per what you're saying, I'm not saying I agree with that, but it's not required. And in the Old, it was being done. If you're saying God is saying in the New that it shouldn't be done, it must be God that said do it in the beginning. And if it was God that said to do it in the beginning, then as you had said at the beginning, he's perfect. And there would definitely be no issue. Let me take this caller, and we're going to come right back to you.
Well, God doesn't make mistakes, and I don't believe He did say to do this.
Not a problem. Let me take this call. Go ahead, 571. Come on in.
Hi. I've just been listening to the caller.
Welcome to the Bible Big Mouth Show, and who am I speaking to?
Hi, you're talking to Tyrone. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada.
Tyrone, okay. You have a comment or statement for our friend Daniel?
Well, I've got a bit of two, and what I wanted to say to the caller, there's so many errors that he's made with his actual comments. Because first of all, the circumcision was given to Abraham, who beget Isaac, who beget Jacob, surnamed Israel, who beget the 12 sons of Israel, and it was commanded that all firstborn male of Israel, the tribes of Israel, must be circumcised. They were circumcised. That was part of the culture that shows forth the covenants between the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and his people. So when you're speaking about Christianity, circumcision, and this one doesn't, who cares? Because it wasn't given to them. I heard that he mentioned about Paul. Paul was never a Christian. He was never a Christian. And if you read the book of Romans 9, and read from the beginning to the end, he was never a Christian. He was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Jesus was also an Israelite and was also circumcised. So where did this abolishment of circumcision now come in? We don't care about the Catholic Church. That's not Christianity. That's Christianity. They're not Israelites. The God of that book spoke to the people of that book. Everybody wants to adopt, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Khazarians, whether you're whatever you want to be. You take from the book and you make it your own, but it's not your own. From the beginning to the end, it speaks about Israel. From beginning to the end, Israel, 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 children of Israel. How do these other nations now come in and want to adopt, want to make protests and so on? Please, write your own books and make your own laws. But that book is given to the children of Jacob and the children of Israel. I don't understand. Circumcision is not for you. And it's great. You can go and you can get it stitched back on because, medical and science is wonderful these days. You can go and stitch it back on and get your sensation. Great. But the circumcision has been given to the children of Israel, show forth the covenant between the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and his people. David, you've got to read the book, my friend. There's no point saying that you don't know what happens in the First Testament, but you want to talk about the Second Testament. It makes no sense. You have to understand what happened in the first to understand the second. David himself in the book of 1 Samuel 17, he even said in verse 26, what shall be the reward if he kills this Philistine? I paraphrase. And he stood and he said, he will kill this uncircumcised Philistine who defies the armies of the living God. What does that say? Now, you're saying that you're Jewish.
Let me jump in there, Tyrone.
David was a Jew.
Tyrone, let me jump in there right quick. Look, we are about 6 or 7 minutes outside of our time, and I knew this topic would be somewhat of as how it went. I think one time, I think we may have to do another discussion or something along the lines. It looks like we've mixed a couple things here. It looks like we've went from Daniel started off with health and science and things of that nature, and now we've gone biblical, and I expected that, but we have a disconnect.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead, real quick. Take 10 seconds, real quick.
Okay. Health and science again. That's wonderful. That's why with the children of Israel, the children of Jacob, even if you look at their bodies, we develop far quicker than the normal bodies, for whether they be white or from another nation. That is a scientific fact. We are advanced by 9 to 10 months advanced at birth. Therefore, circumcision suits us. Our physical bodies are actually capable of sustaining that. If you want to go and do it, that's you're going to get all the issues and the blah blah blah. That's down to you. The fact of the matter is, as the children of Israel and the children of Jacob, we must stick to the instructions given by our God. He will sort out the rest, and that's that. Firstborn male of Jacob and the children of Israel. It's given to us.
So your God says that you need to mutilate your children's genitals?
It's not mutilation. It's not mutilation. The same God of that book has given the instruction to the children of Israel. You can mutilate your child if you wish to, but what we do, we keep the law, my friend. We keep the law. You may want to be lawless and go and be and do what you got to do. That's
I think the law should protect children from having their
No. There's God's law and there's man's law.
So, Tyrone, I want to thank you for that call. You sound passionate. I think we will probably have to pick up, my friend. Thank you very much, Daniel. That was a lot. Again, as I was saying, we're kind of putting two things together, and the difficulty of that conversation. The difficulty of that conversation.
There are two reasons why people circumcise.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna let you close.
Okay.
Yeah. So the difficulty we have here is we're grabbing the Bible, and we have people who have a deep belief in the Bible as myself, and we have our faith and our laws and things that we do, and we have Daniel who has some scientific and medical things to state, but because where we can't mesh is because there's a bit of as you said, you don't take some things as truth, some things are the Old Testament, the New Testament. That could be another discussion. But let me give you the closing statements, and let's go from there. We're about 10 minutes out. Go ahead, Daniel.
All right. So there are two reasons why people circumcise their children.
Yeah.
Or two reasons why people claim: religion and medical. So really what's behind it all is the religious thing, where in a lot of religions, again, like I mentioned before, it's about damaging the person's sex life. Like that is literally what removing part of their penis is for. The foreskin is designed to protect your penis. from all kinds of different things. And they claim, for medical reasons, that it lessens your chances of getting STDs. If you wear a condom, you're going to lessen your chance of getting STDs. Having a normal, natural body part is not changing that. You have a choice. You can wear a condom, or you can have part of your penis cut off and wear a condom. As this last guy was mentioning, he said that there are scientific ways to get your foreskin back. That's not necessarily true. There is something called foreskin restoration, and you can, over years and years of stretching, get back some of that protection, but you're never going to get back the 20,000 nerve endings that were removed when you were circumcised. You're never going to get that back. So one of these two men got screwed. The person who was strapped down as a baby and had their genitals mutilated and wants their foreskin back and can't get it back, and the person who is an adult who is not circumcised and wishes they were circumcised and can go get circumcised. The other thing is babies do feel pain, and we cannot give babies anesthesia. So imagine the first experience you have when you are born is being strapped down and having your penis cut up without any numbing or anesthesia or anything like that. It's nonsense. And again, an adult can get circumcised for whatever reason they choose, but cutting off part of a child's penis because your God says to sounds insane to me. Honestly. Understood. God does not make mistakes. God gave us a foreskin for a reason.
So let me
as well. I want to bring up the fact, if it is religious,
yes,
why are we practicing religion in our hospitals? Why are we telling parents that they need to do this to their babies for medical reasons?
I actually know of practitioners that don't do this in a hospital. I know of circumcisions that's not done in a hospital.
Correct? So they don't really do this in Canada as much in hospitals.
Okay.
In the United States,
no, they're done in hospitals here. They are done in hospitals and medical centers, but they're also done in homes.
Yep. Just not as much as here. Yep. And I also want to bring up, there's a Jewish ritual called Mitzitza B'Peh, where after they circumcise the baby...
Easy.
Can I not bring that up?
You could bring it up, but, let's tidy it up a bit.
Sure. So the rabbi or mohel will use his mouth to stop the bleeding.
Yes.
And in New York, a couple of babies have died from getting herpes because of this. So this is really the source of the Jewish circumcision, where this all came from. I mean, before Christianity or anything like that, it came from the Jews, and this is, the official practice. I went to Israel a couple of years ago, and unfortunately, a lot of babies and men have had mitzitza b'peh done on them. It's pretty common practice in Jewish religion. So that
sounds perverted to me. It sounds very perverted, and the fact that herpes and things like that can happen, there's something wrong with that. What? It leads us to another discussion that we perhaps may have another time, because when you're talking about Jews and Jewish and who is Jews and who are not Jews, and are the Jews that you're saying that are Jews, are they really? That's another discussion. Another discussion.
Yeah,
let me ask you this question, and in closing, are you saying that any religion that practices male, we're talking about male circumcision, that they are to stop and not do that ever again?
To anyone who cannot consent. So children cannot consent. So that's the whole issue. It's consent. I did not consent to have part of my penis cut off, nor would I ever. And it's all. So
if somebody consents, you're good?
If somebody consents to have part of their penis cut off, yes. That is their choice for whatever reason. If God tells them to cut off part of their penis and they choose to do that as adults, that is their choice.
Daniel, thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much for this discussion.
before you let me go, one last thing.
Shoot.
When babies are circumcised in hospitals, they do not throw away the foreskin. They sell it to face cream companies, and women use it on their face because it's supposed to be good for anti-aging. If you look up Oprah backing foreskin face cream,
I've heard of these things.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I've heard of these things. But we're kind of mixing a couple different things here because we're looking at.
Well, that's the thing. They claim two different things: medical and religion.
Yeah, and who is doing it, right? We're mixing things here. Of a pure religious practice, if I take my son according to my faith and the instruction that I was given, because I do believe, not half, not a quarter, 1,000%. And it says, go ahead, circumcise on the 8th day. That has granted me permission according to my faith. Now, if you have some rabbi, you said, who's got some kids around the corner and they're doing all these things and there's herpes and stuff transferring, HIV and herpes, that I don't think that's not what I'm saying. I don't think that's what I'm saying. But we do got to go. We definitely got to go. Daniel, thank you, my friend. Anytime. You guys are doing anything you need a platform, and we want to discuss this again and bring this out. Give me a shout. Definitely give me a shout. I want to thank everybody online right now. I know it's late. Thank you for joining in. This was our first show, the Unapologetic Rob Show, and this is the Bible Big Mouth. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We got some other things coming up real soon. Thank you very much, and I bid you salutations.